Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Victor Moyakane and this is KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Our sign language interpreter this afternoon is Wilson Mushora. Straight away into the news, the Yamani National Congress Secretary General Madaraka Express is now attributing the closure of several sugar companies in the western region to the irregular issuance of licenses for sugar imports by the government. His remarks coming amid the confiscation of close to 500 bags of illegally imported sugar and rice that was being repackaged for sale at a supermarket in Bomet County. Our reporter Vitalis Nyagol with the details.
Over the past few weeks, the crackdown on illegally imported and counterfeit goods has intensified, with authorities successfully impounding several hundred bags of sugar while in transit for sale. In the latest seizure, Bomet County Commissioner Geoffrey Omondeng confiscated close to 500 bags of sugar and rice that was being repackaged for sale at a supermarket within the area. In his address, he affirmed that the products were illegally smuggled into the country using a fixed ticket, despite the owner of the supermarket denying the allegations. But despite the government stepping up efforts to clamp down on the vice, Yamani National Congress Secretary General Madaraka Express hit out at the government, faulting the administration over the closure of several sugar companies in the western region. Speaking at a function in Busia County, Madaraka challenged President Uhuru Kenyatta to rein in on the offenders, even as he urged fellow legislators to refrain from politicizing the matter for political gain. For Channel 1 Lunchtime News, I'm Vitalis Nyagol.
Kericho Governor Professor Paul Chepkwony says the President's directive to have all public officers subjected to a lifestyle audit can be implemented through an executive order and not necessarily through a legislative framework. The Kericho Governor has already issued such an order subjecting all public officers in Kericho County to a lifestyle audit. Governor Chepkwony, however, warns that the process of auditing the wealth of the public officers should not be issued or used rather to settle political scores.
As the war on corruption rages on, debate on strategies to tame the vice is rife. President Uhuru Kenyatta has directed all public officers to undergo a lifestyle audit in a bid to recover ill-gotten wealth. But the unsolved political question is, what legal framework will guide the process? Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka made a proposal on Tuesday to the effect that a law should be enacted to enhance the president's directive on a lifestyle audit on all public officers. Kericho Governor Professor Paul Chepkwony has weighed in on the debate, arguing there is no need for a legislative framework to guide the lifestyle audit. Governor Chepkwony says an executive order from the office of the president is adequate to roll out the process.
We do not have scarcity of laws in this country. It is political goodwill. When leadership is provided from the top, when the president takes the leadership and gives an executive order, like I have given an executive order number 2 in Kericho, which has demanded that all my CECs, everybody gives bank statements, M-Pesa transactions.
All employees in Kericho County government have been subjected to a lifestyle audit as per the executive order issued by the governor.
It's very important that this is not used to zero in on just a few people, and also it's very important that due process is followed, because as you know, especially as we go to 2022, opponents will use war on corruption to bring down opponents because they want those seats themselves.
Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
It's a reprieve for residents of Nairobi after the water levels in the Ndakaina Dam increased from 30 to 90%. During a tour of the dam in Murang'a County, Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko said that the ongoing water rationing program in the city estates will reduce significantly. Mbuvi, however, said that the new dams ought to be constructed after every 10 years to serve the increase in population.
The water situation for city residents is set to improve after the volume of water in Ndakaini Dam increased from 30 to 90%. While touring the city's major reservoir in Murang'a County, Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi said that city estates which have been experiencing water rationing will now get water every day of the week.
Area za Juja Road, Mathare, Mlango Kubwa, Huruma, South B, South C, Ngara na slum area zote za Nairobi City County zitapata maji sasa kila siku.
Sasumua and Ruiru dams are also reportedly full. Mbuvi said according to the National Water Plan, the city should at least construct one dam in every 10 years to serve the increasing population.
Na pia area kama Survey of Kenya, Mathare North, TRM, Safari Park na Zimmerman ambazo zimekuwa zikipata maji Mande peke yake, sasa zitaendelea kupata maji mara 3 kwa wiki, ikiongeza pia Jumamosi na Jumatatu.
Demand for water in Nairobi County stands at 770 cubic meters per day, way up from 500,000 cubic meters that is currently being produced. Gatanga Member of Parliament Joseph Ndwati, who accompanied Nairobi Governor, assured residents of fresh and clean water after the construction of Northern Collector Tunnel.
Hiyo maji kama yote isiende Nairobi, ingine tukunywe hapa, na hiyo imekubaliwa na serikali na pia governor amekubali. Ndio watu wetu wapate maji na tuendelee pamoja.
Uchunguzi tulikuwa tunafanya kidhani cartels wanaiba maji. Sisi tunajua wananchi wa Madaraka hapa hakuna cartels, na tumetangaza various partnership programs ambazo tutafanya.
Ndakaini Dam caused a storm in the country recently when it failed to fill up during the flooding season. Irene Mchuma Odim, The Lunchtime News.
The National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, has embarked on a crackdown during which 600 pubs will be shut down as the war against alcoholism and drug abuse intensifies. According to a survey by the Kajiado County Government, the county has more than 1,500 bars, including in the of course covering all corners of the county, including the villages, which has negatively affected the youth in that particular county.
During a campaign organized by Kajiado County Government and attended by more than 500 youths, drugs and alcohol abuse was identified as the major threat to youth prosperity in the county. Following this revelation, the county government has moved to stem the vice.
Kama county government tumeamua kwamba katika huu mwaka tutapunguza hizo ba kutoka 1200 to less than 600.
Wacha watu wakunywe pombe urban areas. Lakini sasa unakuta kijiji kidogo iko na kanisa mbili iko na ba 20.
The crackdown on drinking dance is aimed at reducing cases of drug and alcohol abuse, suicide, divorce and school dropouts in Kajiado County. County Executive in charge of Youth and Sports Alvin Kimani says most young people in the area continue to abuse alcohol and hard drugs which find their way into the towns through Namanga border point.
Nimefurahia kwamba County Commissioner amesema mambo ya enforcement, mambo ya immigration pale katika border. Hatutaitikia watu wetu wako na cross border wanaenda kukunywa pombe Tanzania, no wa Tanzania wanakuja kuchukua nafasi zetu za kazi. Hatutaitikia, hatutaruhusu hilo jambo kuendelea.
NACADA has also embarked on seminars to discourage youth from menace. NACADA CEO Victor Okiama said most youth across the country are consuming cat, illicit brew and mixes of drugs sold across the counter in chemists.
Na shida ya madawa na tuko na shida ya pombe ambayo inaangamisha vijana wetu, hata wasee sio sana.
NACADA also urged parents and other stakeholders to support the campaign in order to save young people from the destruction. For Lunchtime News, I'm Kaltun Jama.
Kisha kuja kuokoa vijana wetu.
Dagahale refugee camp in Garissa County marked the World Refugee Day amid calls for initiatives to mitigate environmental degradation caused by immigrants. United Nations High Commission on Refugees, head of Operation Jean Bosco Rushatsi says that they are looking for donors to fund the same.
The United Nations High Commission on Refugees, head of Operation Jean Bosco Rushatsi, said the refugee problem is a shared responsibility, and from the little funds they have already developed a number of fields in I-42 and Cambios refugee camps. Rushatsi added that they have drafted proposals to the donor community seeking assistance for initiatives to mitigate environmental degradation. The World Refugee Day was marked under the theme Include All, Empower All. At the Gahale Camp 3, young brothers from South Sudan who were transferred from Kakuma refugee camp in Turkana in 2014 are optimistic of better life once repatriated.
Other countries, people are just enjoying the life, but for us in South Sudan, we're just suffering. We need peace. Country, the most thing where we can get it is through learning.
Now, the voices of disgruntlement have emerged over the compensation of farmers who will be displaced by the construction of the Karimenu Dam in Gatundu South constituency in Kiambu County. The conflict has occasioned the postponement of the official launch that had been scheduled to take place this week. This misunderstanding arose after some of the owners of the land expressed discontentment over the terms offered by the government, with the government assuring residents that the compensation for the 26 billion shilling project will be fair.
The statement over compensation of farmers is now putting into jeopardy the projected timelines of the 26 billion shillings initiative. The Director of Valuation at the National Land Commission, Dr. Salam Munubi, says the government has gone through correct procedures in the acquisition process, adding that settlement of farmers who will be displaced will be done in a fair manner.
Commission will go into the process of relocating those who want land for land, and equally those who want money for land will be compensated. That is what will come out of this exercise. We cannot say exactly okay, but we have planned that the compulsory acquisition runs its due course with the legal framework within the time set out.
But affected locals in Kirikou and Gitamba area of Gatundu North constituency, whose land has been affected by the construction of the dam, will hear none of it. Even the assurance of Area Deputy County Commissioner Fredrick Molly fell on deaf ears.
Hapa tumesema hapana kuturutishwa, ingawaje sijui kama mnajua hiyo process ya compulsory acquisition. Hii ni mradi ya serikali na tunataka tuende polepole na wananchi, hatutaki kusukuma wananchi, tunataka kile kitu iwe ni kwa hiari.
The launch of the construction that had been earlier stalled for this week has been postponed due to the uncertainty brought about by wrangles. The government says the process of land acquisition will not derail project timelines.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards says that no traces of mercury have been found in the sugar samples tested so far. Speaking during a probe by the Parliamentary Trade Committee, KEB's Managing Director Charles Ngwai, however, admitted that there are some samples of sugar which do not meet the required standards, recommending their withdrawal from the market. Our reporter Edu Kabasa is following the story from Parliament and will bring you details of this particular story in these subsequent bulletins. We take a short break. We'll be right back with a lot more content after this. Please stay tuned.
This Thursday on Road to Success.
It was one of those experiences where it's almost like an out-of-body experience, because you're like, wow, this is happening. Can we really do this? We said yes, so we have to do it.
The people that have been coming to us like adventure. They like something that's a durable, long-lasting product. They like to have a piece of Kenya with them, and that's kind of what both of the brands actually kind of embody.
Don't be too harsh to listen to what your staff want to tell you, because in very big organizations the HR is there to listen to the staff issues, but as an SME, you as a person needs to listen to the staff.
Road to Success, only on KBC Channel 1.
The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Imagine all the possibilities of the Mombasa-Nairobi Highway or Phase 1 of the SGR were straight-line routes. The Mombasa-Nairobi Highway twists and turns with its many corners, goes downhill and ascends steep slopes. In contrast, the SGR runs on an almost straight line. So, back to my point. Comparing road and rail speeds and capacity between Mombasa and Nairobi, it is fairly obvious that the Madaraka Express Freight Service shall change the game.
Welcome back. The Kilifi County Government and the Aga Khan Foundation from Canada have partnered in the fight against neonatal and maternal death in the region. The two entities have launched a program dubbed the Access to Quality Care and extending the strengthening of the health system, that is Access, which is expected to benefit women who are of the reproductive age, expectant women and children under 5 years old, as well as women over the productive age.
Over 29,000 women of reproductive age, 4,500 expectant women and children under 5 years will directly benefit from the Access to Quality Care, attending and strengthening health system program in Kilifi County. According to Angela Getich, the County Program Director of Access, the program seeks to significantly reduce maternal, newborn and child mortality through sustainable, affordable delivery and utilization of quality services through the quantum of care.
We put in place certain activities that ensure that we're able to deliver and improve demand for women's needs. In Kaloleni alone, we've been able to put in place an until community units. In Kisii, we have 10. So, and within Kaloleni, we are working with 480 community health volunteers who have been fully trained.
The Kilifi County government is working together with Aga Khan Foundation Canada and sub-county health management teams to enhance the capacity of 2 sub-county hospitals, 2 health centers and 6 dispensaries.
But we are strengthening, working with 10 facilities, but renovating 9. And this includes, this is one of the things that we are doing, the capacity, the resource center. We are also giving medical equipment to ensure that we've improved and we are going to improve the quality of care.
Dr. Anisa Omar, speaking during the launch of the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health and Resource Center at Mariakani Sub-County Hospital, noted that the pregnancy is still a risky affair for thousands of women in the region.
If we can do a retrospective study for the last 2-3 years and see what could be the causes of this stillbirth. Is it the first D or the second D or is it the third D? Because the number of stillbirths, fresh stillbirths is just high.
A senatorial meeting with focus on the peace process in South Sudan is ongoing in Mombasa ahead of the regional summit of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. President Kenyatta is set to join the regional leaders from IGAD member states for the meeting, which kicks off later today in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, aimed at reviewing the progress made in efforts to restore peace in South Sudan.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development on the security and political stability in South Sudan. The high-level meeting, which kick off later today in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, is expected to highlight progress made in restoring peace in the war-torn youngest nation of South Sudan and renew efforts of bringing warring factions pitting President Salva Kiir and Riek Machar together. The two figures at the center of the civil war that has ravaged South Sudan met for the first time in nearly 2 years on Wednesday evening in the Ethiopian capital. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir and rebel leader Riek Machar, who fled South Sudan in July 2016, went into a closed-door meeting at the Ethiopian Prime Minister's office. The meeting, which took place ahead of the IGAD meeting, is expected to build bridges between the two leaders. Both Salva Kiir and Riek Machar, who are in Addis Ababa, are also expected to negotiate a deal that would see an end to civil war that broke out in 2013. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is IGAD Special Rapporteur for South Sudan, is said to join other regional leaders from IGAD member states, where they will review progress made so far towards revitalizing peace process. The meeting by senators in Mombasa is focusing on ways to foster lasting peace in South Sudan. Leaders Moshigadi for Channel 1 News.
Now, US President Donald Trump has bowed to public pressure and signed an executive order promising to keep families together in migrant detentions. Trump reversed his own policy amid international fury of the separation of undocumented parents and children.
US President Donald Trump said he had been swayed by images of children who have been taken from parents while they are jailed and prosecuted for illegal border crossing. But the order does not address families already separated by the policy. US immigration officials say 2,342 children were separated from 2,206 parents between 5th May and 9th June. Trump said he did not like the sight of families being separated, but added that his administration will continue its zero-tolerance policy of criminally prosecuting anyone who crosses the border illegally. The president said his wife Melania and daughter Ivanka, who reportedly have been applying pressure on him to drop the policy, feel strongly about ending the practice of separating migrant families. Vice President Mike Pence and Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen, who has emerged as the face of the White House policy, were both present for the signing of the order on Wednesday. Before his U-turn on Wednesday, the president had previously said you can't do it through an executive order, insisting that only Congress could fix the policy by passing immigrant reform. Republican congressional leader Paul Ryan said the House of Representatives will vote on Thursday on legislation to keep families together.